Seattle versus Austin, Texas. They're 2,000 miles apart, 2 hours time difference, and vastly different. So why am I comparing these two cities? Over the last decade, Seattle and Austin have consistently been on the list of the fastest growing large cities. From 2010 to 2020, both Austin and Seattle's populations grew by 21%. That's 171,000 people in Austin and 130,000 people in Seattle. When relocating, I think these are two cities people often consider because they have one very important thing in common: no state income tax. They also have similar politics and plenty of job opportunities. So I wanted to explore what makes them the same, what makes them different, and which is the better city to move to.
3, 2, 1. 'Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. 'Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. 'Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. 'Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
My name's Monica Church, and I'm a real estate agent and video producer. If you're looking to relocate to either Austin or Seattle, check out my website below, as I can help connect you with an experienced agent in both of these cities, as well as anywhere in America. If you're looking to buy or sell, you can schedule a video consultation with me. I'd be happy to help. Let's first dive into some basic stats. Austin has a higher population and younger average age. They're about the same in terms of married versus single, which leads me to believe dating is probably pretty similar in both. Seattle has a larger Asian population, while Austin has a larger Hispanic population. Seattle has less than 1/3 the amount of land, but nearly 10 times the amount of water. The median home price is lower in Austin, but the average household income is higher in Seattle, with 50% of the population making above $100,000 a year, and a staggering 20% of Seattleites make above $200,000. I could not believe that one. Okay, statistics are great, but you're probably not going to move based off some numbers on a chart, are you? You need to feel the city for yourself. So I spent a week in Austin learning about the real estate and lifestyle, and here's how I feel it compares to Seattle based off these 5 criteria. In terms of landscape, it's really not a competition. Seattle is way more pretty than Austin. I mean, the skyline here, for one, it's breathtaking. There are so many different scenic viewpoints of the city. You have Cary Park, Alki Point, Jose Rizal. This one I literally just stumbled upon today. It's on the top of Queen Anne and Lynn Street, and you're looking at Lake Union and East Lake. We have so much water. We have green year-round, really stunning mountains and hiking trails. The beauty here is truly unmatched to any other city, I think. I was really nervous going to Austin that it would just be flat, as Texas is, and ugly. But to my surprise, Austin actually is pretty as well. It has Lake Travis and Lake Austin, so there's some water. The sunsets are really pretty, and they have these oak trees everywhere, and they line the streets, and they make you feel like you're in nature. I have to say, it filled up my cup enough where I didn't think it was an ugly place to live. You're most likely going to want to have a car in both of these cities. Seattle has been working really hard on their light rail public transit, and they do a great job. It takes you from the airport to downtown, and it's like a $3 ticket. You can go north and south very easily. The problem is it doesn't go east and west yet. They have been expanding this for years, and they're pretty well on track, and overall the bus systems are pretty reliable. But the reason people like having a car in Seattle is because of all the things that you want to do that aren't in the city. If you want to go on a hike, you need to drive to the hike. If you want to go to the mountains, you got to drive to the mountains. That's such a big reason people love having a car here. In Austin, it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of public transit, and I did read online that the infrastructure is just really, really bad. This is a map of Austin's Capital Metro Rail. It looks pretty nice, right? Only problem is the red line is the only one that's actually in existence. What I love about both of these cities is they're like mid-sized cities. They feel like a big city, and they are a big city, but they don't feel too big. Getting across town takes around 20 minutes. Going from neighborhood to neighborhood might be 10 minutes. Unlike somewhere like Los Angeles, where getting across town can take you an hour and a half. I lived there. I lived that. I did not like that. I thought navigating Austin was so easy. I went by myself. I rented a car. I did not get lost once. It was often easy to find parking, and I loved that the mundane errands that you need to run in life had just, big sprawling parking lots.
That was so easy.
All in all, Seattle wins the landscape category for its beauty and ease of navigating, and they just are a little bit ahead of Austin on working on the infrastructure for all the growth that we've had. In fact, it is so beautiful here that people are willing to deal with 8 to 9 months of rain, and that's really saying something. Okay, the weather. It's July 16th when I'm filming this, and it's cloudy here in Seattle. Seattle is easy to love when the weather's great, but realistically, that's only about 2 to 3 months of the year. The dreary weather is tough, and a recent survey found 67% of people have considered moving out of the city, me included. Although temperatures are mild, I don't know how much more gray I could take. Austin's worst month of rain is on average 6 days. That's literally one of Seattle's best months. Although Austin is sunnier, it's also more extreme, experiencing power outages and droughts, whereas Seattle is a lot more stable. Ultimately, the weather's going to be so subjective. Personally, I'd take Austin weather over Seattle's any day of the week. I am just so sick of the rain, and so are a lot of my family and friends.
If you've ever had seasonal affective disorder, I can't go through another winter here. I mean,
Okay, I feel like that's a thing people like joke about. Is that like a real thing? Like, did you get like diagnosed?
I got
and stuff?
diagnosed. My sleep doctor sent me to a psychiatrist.
In Seattle, people really get that.
In this latitude,
It's not just a joke.
No, it's not a joke. I understand why it kind of sounds stupid that I can't get out of bed because I'm.
Some people are just like not that motivated. Like I get not that motivated, but I don't get depressed.
Right. No, I didn't want to be here anymore. Kind of depressed, so it was serious. I wouldn't get out of bed on the weekends. I wouldn't eat. I lost 11 pounds in 6 weeks.
Depression, yeah.
Yeah. So my sleep doctor and my psychiatrist in the same room were like, have you ever considered moving?
You might think, oh, overcast days, that's not so bad. Rain, I can deal with that. But when you get it for 7 months in a row, it can break you. Seattle's weather sucks. So I'm giving this one to Austin. It's no wonder so many Californians moved to Austin. I had an afternoon where I went out to a newly developed area, and it felt like I was sitting in Los Angeles. I went into a smoothie shop where I ordered a $20 smoothie. And it's not even their most expensive smoothie. They had one called the $1 billion smoothie for $30.95. So I can see why locals are a bit pissed, and the whole "Don't California my Texas" slogan exists. I definitely got the feeling that, yeah, there's been a lot of people from California that have moved to Austin, and they brought the California with them. The things that made these cities distinctly unique have definitely gotten lost in their growth. As far as the people go in both of these cities, I think overall everyone was really wonderful in Seattle and Austin, but they are quite different. So in Austin, of course you're in Texas, so people are more friendly than in Seattle. Seattle, we're known for the Seattle freeze. People ask, is it real? It is real. People are not friendly. So when you walk down the street, and I'd say 8 times out of 10, no one's gonna say hi, no one's gonna smile at you. They're just gonna look at their phone, or they're gonna look anywhere but at you. People don't really acknowledge each other. It is definitely kind of weird. You know, if you go out to a bar and you're trying to make friends, or, you know, in a social setting, like, people are friendly and normal, absolutely. But if you're just walking down the street and you pass by a stranger, it can be a little harder to crack Seattleites, but once you do, they're very down to earth. That's my favorite part of the people in Seattle. Austin felt a little more sceney to me, where looks do matter more. What about the dating scene? What's it like dating here?
Yes. So I've had this conversation with many of my friends. I will say, like, you know, there's a lot of articles out there that say, like, Austin's the #1 place to be single. Me, from personal experience, friends as well, it can be a little hard, I would say, just real talk. I feel like, you know, you get here, a lot of people moving here for their first time, and Texas has a lot of gorgeous women, and so you've got a little bit of that Peter Pan syndrome where people get here, there's so many great options. The girls here are they're great. No, you
How are the guys? Are the guys great?
They just don't want to settle. Like, they're just like, they got the Peter Pan syndrome. That's just my personal take, but it can be a struggle being a single lady in Austin.
It sounds like, I think any city that gets like big enough, it's just it attracts people that don't want to settle on anything in life, and dating just gets harder. In short, Seattle is a little bit colder, but the people are very, very down to earth. Austin is much friendlier, but I did sense a little bit of vanity in some of the people. I'm gonna give this one to Austin because I think as a transplant, it's gonna be a little bit easier in Austin. When it comes to cost of living and housing affordability, bestplaces.net says that Austin is 30.8% less expensive than Seattle. If we also just look at the median sales price of a home in all of the Austin limits, it's $676,000, and in Seattle it's $890,000. So you'd think, oh, Seattle is so much more expensive. But what I found is, actually in the core central neighborhoods of each of these cities, the prices are very similar. Austin is actually so expensive. This is the 78704 zip code. Central Austin, very, very desirable. And if we dive into this area, you're going to see there is nothing even close to that median range of $670,000. This little tiny 1,100 square foot house right here is listed for $1.1 million. It's a far cry from that $670,000. And the reason they're so expensive is because the value is all in the lot size. And you'll see the house right next door was torn down and it's currently being built into this huge house that is surely gonna sell upwards of $2.5 million. I did a little bit of exploring, and this was the cheapest home that I could find in this central Austin area. Let's go have a look. So this house is gonna be behind this home, which is something I'm super used to in Seattle. So this one's gonna be listed at $770,000. It's new construction. You open up to a kitchen and living space. It's not very big, it's 1,000 square feet. It has a garage, which is great. And if we head up the stairs, you're gonna have the first bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. And then you have your second bedroom with a bathroom. It has a little bit of a yard, nothing too big, but it is a standalone home in its own right. But not very big, not very fancy, not really what you think of when you think of Texas. But when you really get to know the neighborhoods and where you want to live, you might be looking at a lot more than $670,000 if you like Central Austin. Now, things get really interesting when you expand a little bit outside the city and you consider new construction. Going back to all of the surrounding Austin area, we're gonna hit single family home at the median price range. We'll go with the year of 2021, so pretty much new construction. You're gonna find over 800 homes for sale. Now, let's put the same thing into Seattle. Same thing, single family home, median price range in Seattle. There are 15 options. Yeah, that's where things get really, really different. Being that Seattle is 89 square miles and Austin is 300 square miles, there's more room to build new housing and just expand more. So there's way more inventory. You go in these cities like Leander and Georgetown and there's just a mecca of brand new, pretty affordable homes for sale. And it's not that far from the city. I rented a car to see for myself what was up with Georgetown, which is actually considered the fastest growing city in America right now. So I'm currently in Austin and Georgetown is 30 miles away. It does say it'll only take 30 minutes, so seems like a really good commute time. All right, I just got off the freeway. It was about a 30-minute drive on I-35 North. It was super easy to navigate. Just got to the town square. Here on the left, you're gonna see all these really cute storefronts. And sure enough, it was only 30 minutes away from Austin, and yeah, you can get some pretty nice houses there. So I can definitely understand the appeal. You go to Texas and you don't have to compromise.
All right, Monica, so you flew into Austin, you're looking for a big home, budget's around $1 million. Yes. Where do you think we're gonna go?
Probably not right in Austin.
That's correct. So finding a home in Central Austin for anything that's going to be above 2,300 square feet, new construction, is really going to start putting you on the outskirts. Okay. Today I'm going to take you out to Georgetown. Known for being more of a retirement community, Georgetown is
I'm ready to retire. That sounds good to me.
Perfect. Well, Good news is Wolf Ranch is a new development that we're gonna go take a look at. These homes, you can get more square footage, 3,200 plus square feet.
I've never dreamed of having a house that big because it's just unattainable in Seattle. So I'm definitely excited to check this out.
Cool.
It looks cool.
Let's take a look.
Okay. This home was unbelievable, listed right around $900,000. It features 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a huge kitchen, amazing living and entertaining space, a backyard. I mean, you truly have everything in this home, and it's just about 30 minutes outside of Austin. I mean, yeah, I could live here. If you are interested in it, by the way, I'm gonna have Keith's YouTube channel linked below. He has a full video on this home. Things are looking pretty good over in Austin, but what is life in real estate like in Seattle? This is my townhouse that I purchased. If I were to sell it today, it would be worth conservatively at least $950,000. It's 1,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a very little yard, and a rooftop. The lot size itself is just extremely small. It gives me everything that I need, and I feel like I do have a good quality of life here, but it does constantly leave me feeling like I want more. I want a yard, I want a pantry, I want a laundry room. Living in Seattle is a constant battle of what you're willing to compromise on because it's just so expensive. While I love living in Seattle, being that we have so much water, unfortunately, single family homes, there's just not enough for every person. So they are reserved for the top earners in this city. The few new construction projects that we do have happening are either a $3 million luxury home or much denser row style townhome. Most first-time homebuyers here aspire for something like that. So cost of living is a huge factor when moving. I'm gonna have a link below to a cost of living calculator, and that can really help guide you in what kind of lifestyle you can get in each city. The cost of living is cheaper in Austin, but the jobs still pay relatively high. Austin, without a doubt, wins the cost of living and real estate category. Things to do. Both cities have a lot to do. I really don't think you have to worry about running out of things to do in either. When it comes to bars and restaurants, every big city has amazing bars and restaurants, so that's pretty interchangeable. Both have great public parks, lots of bodies of water, so boating is a good activity, walking trails. Where they differ is Austin is more of a party city. Of course, people go out here in Seattle, there's cool bars, there's neighborhoods for it, but Austin is way more lively with that. Of course, they're known for their live music, and people actually plan out like their bachelor parties there. Not so much in Seattle. Seattleites can get a little lazy and not really go out as much to bars in the winter. So if you love going out and partying, Austin just feels like a much bigger party city. However, I think Seattle has more things to do. A huge difference between these two cities is the sports. Seattle has a Major League Baseball team that's going to be hosting the All-Star Game, a Major League Soccer team that's going to be hosting the World Cup, an NFL team that's won the Super Bowl, and recently an NHL team. Austin has a Major League Soccer team. Now, sports aren't everything, but they're a big deal. It gives you a lot to do. It brings people together, and it's a lot of fun. We have mountains and islands. So the San Juan Islands and this whole island network creates this really interesting boating. You know, you can get into sailboating or take a ferry to an island. And the mountains provide incredible hikes and different hobbies like mountain biking. And of course, in the winter, skiing and snowboarding. So that's a huge value add that Seattle has over Austin, and it makes our winters a little bit better. I'm gonna give this one to Seattle. Seattle does have a little bit more to do because it does have mountains and more sports teams. I love both of these cities. They're very different in their landscapes, but the way that they feel and the people that you meet, it honestly feels really similar to me. But if I had to choose one that I think is the better city to move to, it would be, I think Austin is the better city to move to. People are more friendly here. There's great jobs and there's so much to do. Ultimately, they're just both such great cities. But I want to know what your guys' score would be in the comments below, because the point of this video is not for me to tell you which city is better. That's for you to take this information and decide for yourself. So let me know in the comments which you think is the better city, Austin or Seattle. If you're moving to Seattle, I am a real estate agent there, and me and my team can help you buy or sell your home. And if you are considering buying or selling in Austin, I met with several really great agents and I'd be happy to connect you with them as well. I'll have my website linked below where you can schedule a consultation with me and we can chat through what you're looking for and I can help fit you with a really great agent.